And just like that, we are back for week 4 of Coaching Friday. Good day, good people. How's everyone doing out there in the virtual world? How are you doing? How's life treating you? It's Friday. It's Coaching Friday. I am your host, Shamitra's Vital, and this is another episode of Vital Statistics 3.0. And we're going to launch right on into Coaching Friday because I know you guys got stuff to do and you like, all right, Shamitra's, let's get on with the show. So today is episode 4, and we are talking about nurture. It's the 4th element of change. Now, if you have missed any of the other weeks, first week we talked about character. Who are you, and who you are determines your attitude. The second week we talked about attitude. Your attitude determines your what? Altitude. And then on week 3, we talked about health. Your mental, emotional, physical health determines how far you can go. But now we're talking about the 4th element, which is what? Nurture. What are you feeding? What are you investing in? Are you nurturing growth, or are you feeding negativity? I know we're like only a few seconds into the show and I've already like stepped on some toes. I'm going to say that again. Are you nurturing growth, or are you feeding negativity? What you nurture will determine what grows in your life. This episode is all about what you pour into yourself, your relationships, your dreams. But by the end of this episode, you will have a clearer understanding of how to nurture the right things so you can see real transformation. Are you guys ready to do some transformation? All right, well, let's move on into that. But before we move into that, I have got to give you the Merriam-Webster definition of nurture. So according to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, online, of course, the definition of nurture is the process of caring for and encouraging the growth or development of someone or something. One more time, the process of caring for and encouraging the growth or development of someone or something. This means nurture isn't just about taking care of things, it's about actively growing something. So here is your challenge. Many people nurture their fears more than their faith. Now, I know we're not into talking about the Bible and faith, but I can't help it. It's true. What are you believing in? Most of us think about what we're afraid of. And look, I am not perfect. I'm sitting here talking about myself. I could pinch myself right now because this is so real. When I sit down to write these things, it's like I feel like God is just tapping me on the shoulder and reminding me like, hey, Shamitras, many people do. We nurture our fears. We nurture what someone else has told us we couldn't do versus what we believe in our faith. Like, you know what? This actually could change. We pour energy into doubt, negativity, and distractions instead of growth all the time. If you are a person who is on your phone more than you're doing anything else, constantly looking at the news, and then you start worrying about it, you're really nurturing the negativity. At this point in the world, we don't even know. They've gotten rid of what they call the regular news because it was considered fake news or whatever. So you almost don't know what's real and what's not, but you don't have time to react over everything that you read on social media. I mean, there is so much news coming out now. You can't react over all of that. But your energy can't be poured more into doubt, negativity, and distractions instead of your growth. It's time to invest in who you are, your growth. What you feel grows and what you neglect dies. So what about you? This is all about you because we're talking about change. So here's a question. What are you feeding in your life right now? Is it growth or stagnation? Yeah, this episode is like stepping on toes and, maybe a little gut punch, but it's real. What are we feeding in our lives right now? Is it growth or stagnation? What are you putting most of your time into? So let me give you 4 areas of nurture here. I promise today I'm not going to keep you long because I really want you to take the time afterwards to really think about the things that I've said. So let's break it down into 4 areas you need to nurture for real change, okay? Number 1 is self-nurture. That's personal growth. Are you investing in yourself? Reading, learning, growing? I paused. Yes, I paused because you have to answer that question. Are you reading? Are you learning? Are you growing? I know I do my best to read, but I could definitely do a lot more reading and learning. Working with children helps me continue my learning, so I know I'm not stagnant, but I could definitely for myself do a little bit more and do better with that. and growing. So here's the next one. Are you taking care of your mind, body, and emotions? Like, how are you handling that? Personal growth, that may mean that you need therapy. You need someone to talk to. Your best friend may not be the best therapist because they cannot help you in some of the things that you're going through. So are you taking care of your mind, body, and emotions? And do you allow yourself space to rest and reset? Now that's big because I'm learning that it's not just going to sleep at night, but it's like taking the time to just do nothing. Like I have one of my clients that I deal with twice a week, and I love when I talk to her and I check in with her just in the last 3 to 4 months of how she's grown. She has a set time and she's like, Miss Vital, I am relaxing. And look, don't let Miss Vital call her late like I did yesterday. I called her late because another client was late. And so I wanted to get that client. And so I called this client and said, okay, hey, I will be late to our check-in. Is that okay? And she's like, sure. Well, when the time came and it had already been past, I think I was 30 minutes past her time, she called me and she was like, Miss Vital. And I said, I know, I can hear it in your voice that you are ready to settle down into your evening and get, prepared to just relax and, really begin to reset. And so she has this priority of resetting herself and relaxing. And I'm like, I have to do better with that. But also yesterday, that was the first time. Normally my coaching sessions do not go over, but it just happened. And I knew it was going to happen because something had happened with, the previous 2 clients. So the day just kind of was crazy and I just needed everyone to kind of be patient. But do you allow yourself the space to rest and reset? And I know even for myself, I am doing a lot. And so it's like, oh, I got to take this time to just breathe and reset, like do nothing. Reset usually means do nothing, like taking a walk. Sometimes I just have to go stand out on the balcony because I may not have enough time to go and walk. But it's like, I just go outside, I look at the stars, I breathe in the crisp air, and it's like, whew, okay, I can do this. I can do this. So sometimes it may not be hours or whatever. It may just be a few minutes, but just taking a moment to reset. All right, here's your second key area of nurture. Okay. This one is relational nurture, family, friends, community. Now, some of us do more of this than anything, but who are you pouring into? And not just your children, because yes, that's an expectation if you have kids, whether they're little, middle age, or grown and gone. We're going to pour into them. But like, are you pouring into, your community? Are you pouring into your friends? Or are you always taking from them? Are you pouring into your spouse, encouraging them? Are you nurturing healthy relationships, or are you in toxic cycles? Now, you know what relationship you have that's toxic and it's not flourishing. And some of those you just have to get rid of. Like I think I said a couple of weeks ago, when the phone rings or you see a text message, like, should you open it or should you not? Because you already know, like, some of these relationships that we have, we just don't even need to entertain them at all. Like, they're just not the right conversations or circles that we need to be in. So we have to change that. And do your relationships help you grow, or do they drain you? Again, talking about relationships, when you get on the phone with somebody, like when you get off, are you like, whew, my God, that was a lot. Sometimes our relationships drain us, but every relationship is not supposed to drain us. We got to have our energy. And so this one's more about number 3. It's called dream and nurture, purpose and vision. Are you nurturing your God-given dreams, or are you letting them die? Now, I had to be reminded about this. It's like, go back and pull out the dream book. Where are your desires? Where's your hopes? Where's your dreams? Go back and pull that out. And if you don't know where it is, you know what? Maybe you need to rewrite another one. It's time to rewrite the vision. I got to sip something on that one. Because I'm hearing, even for myself, Shamitris, it's time to write the vision and make it plain. That's found in Habakkuk. I'm not going to take you too far into the Bible, but I'm a preacher, teacher. I can't help it. So write the vision and make it plain, so they that read it may run with it. That's Habakkuk 2. So are you nurturing your God-given dreams, or are you letting them die? So what gifts and dreams do you have that you let dormant? I have a really good friend where she's like, as women, we tend to put our dreams and hopes in our back pocket or on the back burner. So if you're thinking about the stove, it's the stuff that you put on the back burner that you're not thinking much about because you're tending to the things that are in the front. We put it in our back pocket. It's not, and you forget. Like, I put my phone in my back pocket a lot, and then I'm like, where is my phone? You forget about it. So it's time to write the vision and make it plain. I need to work that out as myself as well. Because sometimes what we do is we say, okay, yeah, I got it in the back of my head, and you're thinking about it. No, write it down, make it plain so that you can see it. Are you making excuses for why you can't, or are you feeding action? Let me read that one again. I'm sorry. Are you making excuses for why you can't, or are you feeding action? A lot of us sit in what we feel like we can't do versus feeding the actions of what we can do. Do you speak life into your future, or are you allowing doubt to take over? There's more beyond this moment. We've got to speak life into our future. We've got to believe in that better is upon us, that it's a blank slate. Every single day that God has blessed us to get up in the morning, we have a new blank slate. We have an opportunity to feed and speak into our future. Our future is the next minute from here. Our future is the next steps that we take from here. Why? Because you've already moved from the place that you're in. Ooh, I felt that. Thank you, God. All right. Number 4, spiritual nurture, faith and connection to God. Are you nurturing your faith or your fears? Okay, you've heard it again. Are you nurturing your faith or your fears? Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Faith steps over fear, but fear can put you in a hole. Again, I gave you another scripture. I'm sorry. There's so much of God is in this when we talk about nurture. So we've got to really nurture ourselves. Do you make time for prayer, reflection, or worship? Or are you consumed with distractions? Are you making that time to reflect and to pray and to journal and to worship? And again, Shamitris, I've had to work on this. Like even on today, getting up a little bit early just so I could worship while I fix breakfast and all those kinds of things is like, you can't let the worries and the things of life consume you. Got a text message early this morning and, it was like, something's not going to happen. And, I said, you know what? You cannot let other people's actions determine the rest of your day. So you got to take time with God or whatever you choose to do to reflect, pray, and encourage yourself. Don't consume the distractions. What are you feeding your spirit daily? Are you getting up looking at the negative news every day? Are you getting up and looking at all the things on Twitter or Facebook and you're like, oh man, or somebody else has made their million posts and you're only at 10? You can't let your mind consume all of that. You've got to speak over yourself. You've got to feed yourself the faith over those distractions and fears. All right, here's another 2 questions for you. What are these 4 areas, which of these 4 areas have you been neglecting the most? So that's something that you have to think about. And then are you nurturing your dreams or just watching others live theirs? And just in case, I promise I'll make a note about this, but the 4 areas are self-nurture, relational nurture, dream nurture, spiritual nurture. So which of those 4 areas have you been neglecting the most? And are you nurturing your dreams or are you just watching others live theirs? And that's so easy to do when we have social media that distracts us. So let's do a couple exercises. There's 3 things that you can do today to nurture you right now. So it's a nurture check-in is number 1. Write down 3 things you're currently nurturing in your life. Write down 3 things you're currently nurturing in your life. Are they leading you to growth or stagnation? Number 2, 24-hour nurture challenge. For 1 day only, consume and engage with things that grow you. So whether it's books, podcasts, positive conversations, only things that will grow you for 24 hours. You could start right after you finish listening to this episode. You say, okay, if you listen to it in the afternoon or whatever, from this point on until the next day at this time, I'm only going to listen to things that make me grow. And at the end of the day, reflect on how you feel. And then number 3, daily seed planting. Write down 1 small action you can take daily to nurture growth in your life. 1 small action. So here's another question for you. What's 1 area in your life that you need to start nurturing today? All right. Let's jump into these coaching sessions real quick. So I got one of this scenario. She's a 41-year-old who feels drained. She's a mother, wife, and business owner. She nurtures everyone else but neglects herself. She's burnt out, frustrated, and doesn't feel valued. So if I was going to coach her, here's what I do. Reprioritize her self-care. That's number one. She can't pour from an empty cup. Remember, I talked about myself, or this might have been on Word Wednesday, but nonetheless, you can't pour from an empty cup. You've got to set boundaries and say no. You know what? No is a full sentence. And guess what, ladies, gentlemen? No is a form of self-nurturing. Did you know that? And delegate responsibility. She doesn't have to do and just like that. We are alone. Back for week 4 of Coaching Friday. Like, you know what? I can just clear the dishwasher myself. How is everyone doing? I can just take out the trash in the virtual world? How are you doing? We don't have to go like this alone. You. It's Friday. It's Coaching Friday. I am your host, Shamitra's Vital, and this is another episode of Vital Statistics 3.0. And we're going to launch right on into Coaching Friday because I know you guys got stuff to do, and you are like, all right, Shamitra's, let's get on with the show. That's a lot. So today, because most of us listening to this right now are like, yeah, no, I'm not taking care of myself. It's the fourth element of change. Now, you've got to take care of yourself. The simple thing is, like, when first week we talked about I had little people around you and who you are, you make sure that they get all the second week we talked about for their meal, right? Your attitude, you're just snacking in the kitchen, but you haven't even. And then on week 3 we talked about health as that your mental, emotional, physical health determines yours, and you're like, I'll just get something on the road. But now we're talking about the fourth element, which is yourself. Take time for yourself. What are our second client? 27-year-old. What are you investing in life? Are you nurturing growth, or are you feeding? But now she's lost her motivation. Now that's probably a lot of people. It doesn't matter the age. We're like only a few seconds into the show, and I've already making no real progress. I'm going to say that again. Are you nurturing growth on social media? Or are you feeding negativity? Nothing. What you nurture will determine. So here's her coaching strategy in your life. Identify what's blocking growth. All about what you pour into yourself, your relationships, replace wasted time, your dreams. Instead of scrolling, by the end, read, learn, and take action. There's that again. Clear understanding of how to taking time for growth. Things so you set small daily goals, one step at a time. Build momentum, transformation. And then all right, well, let's move on into that. But before we move into that, you know, I have got to give you the Merriam-Webster definition of nurture. And here's her question. So according to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, are you nurturing your dreams, or you just watching online, of course? The definition of nurture is the process of caring for and encouraging the growth or development of someone or something. Because it just puts us in the wrong the process of caring for and encouraging the growth or development of someone or something. This means nurture isn't just about taking care of things. It's about actively growing 30-year-old woman who doesn't know your challenge. How to nurture Many people nurture their fears. Parents are in jail more than their state. Wow. Now, I know we're not into children, talking about the Bible and family support. She finds joy in reading, but has no other outside activities. Most of us think about what we're afraid of. And look, I am not perfect. I'm sitting here talking about myself. I could pinch myself right now because this is so real. When I sit down to write these things, it's like I feel like God has just got me on the shoulder and reminding me, like, hey, she enjoys reading. Many people do. We nurture our fears. We nurture what someone else has told us we couldn't do versus what we believe in our faith. Like, you know what? This actually could change. She's got to really we pour energy into doubt, negativity, and distraction. She's got to introduce all the changes. If you are a person who is on your phone more than you're doing anything else, constantly looking at the news, that might start worrying about it. You're really nurturing the negativity. At this point in the world, we don't even know. They've gotten rid of what they call the regular news because into the things that she feels like or whatever. So you almost don't know what's real and what's not. But you don't have time. She also needs to build a support system. Encourage her to on social media. I mean, there is so much news coming out now. And you can't react over all of that. She's got to be encouraged. But your energy can't be poured more into doubt, negativity, to get into other groups and small things. It's time she's going to have to do some developing your growth of herself. What you feel grows and what she's got to develop herself. So and that may mean that she might need to start exercising, because we're talking about journaling, volunteering, traveling. What are you feeding in your life? She's missing a lot of things in her life, but all of these are suggestions that could help her change it. This episode is like, instead of seeing her situation as isolation, she's got to reframe. It's real. What are we feeding in our lives right now? And change it to build a life she loves. What are you putting most of your time into? So let me give you 4 areas. I would ask her, are you
I
truly
promise
living,
today I'm not going
or
to
are
keep you
you
long because I
just
really want
going
you to
through
take
the
the time
motions?
afterwards to really think about the
A lot
things
of
that I've
us do
said.
that.
So let's break it down into 4 areas you
So
need to
if
nurture.
you're in this
For
situation, the
real
first thing you can do is
change,
make a list
okay?
of 5 things that
Number
you
one
always
is
wanted to try but
self-nurture.
never
That's personal
got
growth.
the chance.
Are you
and choose one
investing
to
in
do
yourself?
the rest of this month?
Reading, learning,
Also,
growing.
set some goals and engage one new person
paused,
or
yes, I
activity
paused,
outside of
'cause
work and home
you have
per
to answer
week.
that question. Are you
And then
reading? Are you
also
learning? Are you growing?
write a vision
I know I
statement
do my best
for the
to
kind
read,
of
but I
life
could
that you
definitely
want
do
to
a lot
nurture
more
over the
reading
next 5 years.
and learning. Working with
So
children helps me
this particular
continue my
one
learning.
really
So I
goes
know I'm
into
not
the depth of
stagnant,
this
but
topic
I
about
could definitely
nurturing and
for myself
addressing
do a little
loneliness
bit
and
more
self-investment
and
and
do better
creating
with
fulfillment
that.
from within.
And growing. So here's the next
This
one. Are
is-
you
this is
trying?
huge
Are you
because a
taking
lot of
care
us
of your
suffer
mind,
from
body, and
maybe,
emotions? Like how are you handling that? Personal
self-isolation
growth.
or
That may
feeling
mean
like
that
it's
you
just not
need
working
therapy.
for
You
us.
need someone to talk to. Your best friend may not be
So
the best
remember
therapist
the
because
nurture
they
check-in,
cannot
okay?
help you in some of the things that you're
Nurture
going
check-in,
through. So are you
24-hour
taking care of
challenge,
your mind, body, and
daily
emotions?
seed planning.
And do you allow
And
yourself
I
space
am
to
going to
rest
close this up.
and
So let me give you a
reset?
couple of takeaways
Now that's big
from everything
because
that I said.
I'm
You might
learning
have
that
to go
it's
back
not
and
just
listen to this
going to
again.
sleep at
But
night,
again,
but
I
it's like
promise,
taking the
don't really want
time
these to
to
be
just do nothing. Like I have
more
one of
than
my
20
clients that I
minutes,
deal
so I may
with
go over just a little bit, but
twice a week,
just
and I
respecting
love when
your
I
time.
talk to her and I
So
check
our
in with her.
takeaways are
Just in
you're
the last,
always nurturing something. If
3
you
to 4
nurture
months of how she's
excuses,
grown,
guess
she
what?
has a
They'll
set
grow.
time, and she's
If
like,
you
Miss
nurture
Vital,
faith,
I
it'll
am
grow.
relaxing.
If you
And
nurture
look, don't let Miss
self-doubt,
Vital call
it
her
will
late
take
like I
over.
did
Your
yesterday.
future
I
is
called
being
her late
shaped
because
by
another
what you
client was
choose
late,
to
and so I
nurture
wanted to
today.
get that client, and so I
guess
called
what,
this client and
friend?
said, okay,
Choose
hey,
wisely.
I
Here's your
will
homework.
be late to
Answer these 3
our
questions in a journal
check-in.
this week
Is that okay?
or
And she's like, sure.
today.
Well, when the
What
time
are you
came and it
currently
had already
nurturing?
been past,
What
I think I was
needs
30 minutes
more
past her
attention
time
in your life?
She called
What
me and she's
daily
like, Miss
habit
Vital. And I
can
said,
you
I know,
start
I can hear it in your
nurturing
voice that
today?
you are ready to settle down into
how can you
your
start nurturing your
evening
dreams?
and get, prepared to just
if you
relax
enjoyed
and,
this
really
podcast
begin to
today,
reset. And
I
so
wanna
she has
encourage
this
you
priority of
to
resetting herself
share it
and
with
relaxing.
someone.
And I'm like, I have
Send
to
me a question, send
do
me a
better
scenario.
with that. But
We'll
also
coach 'em
yesterday,
out
that was the
real
first
quick
time
through the
normally
our
my
next
coaching
element of
sessions
change or one of the
do
other
not
ones
go over, but it just
please
happened and
share
I knew it
this.
was going to happen
If
because
you
something
are
happened with
are
you know,
interested
the
in a coaching
previous 2
session, I
clients.
have
So
some
the day
available
just
on
kind of
my
was crazy, and
Shopify
I
store.
just
The
needed
link
everyone
is
to kind
in
of be
the
patient.
bio.
But do you allow
And
yourself
we're working
the
on the
space
next
to rest
segment
and
of the
reset?
6
And I
elements
know
of
even
change
for
workbook,
myself,
but
I
you
am
can
doing a
also
lot.
go and
And
get
so it's
my
like,
Why
oh,
Not
I got
Wait
to take this
ebook
time to just
that's also on my
breathe
Shopify
and
store.
reset.
So my
Like do
name is
nothing.
Shamitra's
Reset
Vital.
usually
This is
means
Vital
do
Statistics
nothing. Like taking a walk.
3.0.
Sometimes I
I
just
do
have to go
hope that
stand
you
out on
have
the
an
balcony
amazing
because I may
day.
not have
And
enough
guess
time to
what?
go and
The difference
walk,
is in the change
but
you
it's like
choose to make.
I just
Remember
go
to be the
outside, I look at the
difference,
stars, I
make the
breathe in
difference,
the
because
crisp
difference is
air,
ultimately
and it's
in the
like,
change you choose
whew,
to make.
okay, I can do
You
this. I
can
can do
listen
this.
to
So
this
sometimes it may
podcast
not be
on
hours
YouTube,
or
Spotify,
whatever.
Apple
It may just be a
Podcasts,
few minutes, but
Amazon,
just taking a
and
moment to reset.
iHeartRadio.
All right,
Shamitra's
here's
Vital,
your second.
and this is Vital Statistics 3.0.
key area
Thank
of
you
nurture,
so
okay?
much for tuning into the
This one
fourth
is
element of change.
relational
nurture.